Hi, this is Mark Burnett from RePoBrain. Today, we are going to move some koi into our koi pond here. This koi pond is a 4x8 koi pond. It actually is just made of wood, and it's using bolts, leg bolts, all the way around it, inside, that hold it all together. It's very simple design. We put it together last year and it works real good, so we're getting ready to move the koi from inside to outside now that it's spring. Okay, so if we look down now, we can see that we've got a rubber matted surface. This is just an eBay piece that we bought after we built the frame and put it in here. Just tacked it in at the top, put a baseboard at the top all the way around, and this keeps us all watertight all the way around. But we did drain it during the winter, and that was just to prevent it from icing up and cracking, because we didn't want that to happen. But essentially what we've done is on the bottom here, we've just taken some tiles loose that we put in here to give it a little bit of attractive look to it, more of a pool look, if you will. And this the boards we put in here again are just 4x8s by 4, so they're pretty thick and they can take this weight. This holds. Okay, on the sides of this particular pond, what we've done is on these 4x4s, we've actually taken and put leg bolts in on this side all the way through in an angle to hold these pieces together. This is on each side, and then inside here are actually bolts that go all the way through, which are 10-inch bolts that are basically put parallel to each other, holding strength upward. So the pond can't push out, and it can't push outward in this way either. It can't come apart at the seams in any way. Very strong structure, very simple to build. Okay, so right now we're going to fill this pond up with water. We're going to put a filtration system in, and we're going to bring the fish in. Now the fish are already in a pond about exactly the same size that sit inside the garage. That way they've stayed warm during that winter time that I was talking about. But they're ready to move. Okay, so we're going to transfer a portion of that water out here. We're just going to hook up a hose to that pump, to that filter pump, pump it out here to this particular pond about halfway, and then fill the rest with fresh water. Keep it in mind though, you have to watch your pH levels and your temperature levels when you transfer your fish. So we're going to be cautious of that as we go along. Now we hook up the cables to the pump. We're using a Biotech 4 and our youngest RePoBrain guy here, filling the tank for the fish. Okay, now that we have the pond fully filled up with water and our fish in, we can show how the filter works and some of the other things we're going to do to keep our fish safe. So move over this way, let's take a look at the filter and I'll show you how that works. This is a Biotech 4 filter. It's a nice filter for this size pond. I've got it elevated so that it'll actually drain down completely. It comes out here, the drain. This is the intake, which the pump is inside here. And I've used the 2-stage pump system for this particular filter. If you look over here, there's a skimmer and a filter underneath here. And this particular unit will skim and clean the bottom at the same time. So this takes off leaves and other debris. Nice thing about that, you can just take this particular piece right here, lift it right up, and throw out any debris or anything that's caught in this filter. So that's a nice little 1-stage filter, another stage under here, and then you've got your biological filter over here in the Biotech 4. Now we'll take a look at the inside. Okay, let's lift the lid off the Biotech filter. It's got 4 snaps all the way around. And when you lift this off, you can see it has a dual stage filter inside here. It's very well designed. It has a UV filter in here to kill any bacteria or anything, which is nice. This operates 24 hours a day. And at this stage right now it is off, but when it's on you'll actually see the water flowing through here. And we can show that here by turning it on. The water actually comes out through here, goes through these filters, and then fills up and has a dump reservoir here, which will start dumping. There it goes. Okay. And in addition to this, I added in a rope style air stone, okay, or air rope, which you can get at some of the different stores, and put it all the way around. This surprised me with a lot of oxygen inside here. Really gets the bacteria moving really nicely. Also has a chance to oxygenate that water again, so you can put a little more fish in than you might normally do. Okay, with this particular system, I've got a Home Pro product, which is made by Advanced Control Technologies. This little product allows me to remote control the devices that are here, which is really nice. I can just hit, in this case, number 2. This turns on this pump, turns on the UV and the air pump all at the same time. Why do I do that? Well, if I want to feed the fish, I don't want the filter on picking up the food. So I simply go in, hit the remote, feed the fish, go back inside the house. I can be inside the house and turn the filter back on, which is nice. This has a pretty good flow rate. It'll move this water through. I've also got some little styrofoam rings here. They're just made with a little bit of fishing line on all sides, and I can put plants behind here, plastic plants, because koi will eat them pretty quickly if they're real. So this I'll start lining in here. A little water flow filter here, just a standard one here that you can buy, and that just keeps that water circulating. And I've got another circulator underneath here that just keeps all this water in motion. And if you see here, the fish kind of used to getting fed and stuff, so they're coming up to the surface here. In addition to that, we've added to this top portion here of the wood, we put in this netting. Okay, just a simple bird netting actually is what it is. Cheap, you can get it at any of the home improvement style stores. But what it does is it prevents koi from jumping out. Koi, pretty good about jumping out. They will. I've lost a few before I realized they would do that all the time, especially when they're newly introduced. First 48 hours, they're really big jumpers. They don't like where they're at. They want to go back. So one of the things is by putting in this, you really cut down on that problem of them getting out. Since I've had the net on here, I've not lost any fish since that time. It takes away from the look a little bit, but it's nice in an environment like this where you've got essentially the tank raised, and if they jump out, they can't get back in. If they're in a situation where the pond is actually comes down, like in a wood area or something, and they jump out, they can probably get themselves back in. But in this case, they're going to be in trouble. They're not going to find their way back. So the netting helps cut down on that. I hope that if you have a koi pond, or that you can tell us more about koi, share it with RePoBrain. Come up on RePoBrain.com, upload what videos you have about your koi pond or what you've discovered. We'd like to share it with the rest of the world. Till then, see you at RePoBrain.